Imagine a fighter jet so advanced that it can adaptively change its engine performance mid-flight without the pilot lifting a finger. A jet that serves as the quarterback for a team of AI-powered drones, extending America's reach across vast oceans while staying safely beyond enemy missile range. Well, stop imagining, because the US Navy's FA-20 is making this a reality, and it's absolutely revolutionary. In the worldwide race to build the first true sixth-generation stealth fighter, our Navy is surprising everyone by taking the lead. This isn't just another military aircraft. It's a complete reinvention of naval aviation that will determine whether American or Chinese carriers will dominate the seas in the 21st century. If you're proud of our Navy's technological leadership, type "proud" in the comments below. For decades, the US Navy has enjoyed unmatched dominance in naval aviation, but times are changing. China's aggressive naval buildup is challenging America's advantage at sea. Their new carriers and increasingly capable fighter jets mean our Navy needs something extraordinary to maintain its edge. That's where the FA-20 comes in, a revolutionary aircraft set to replace the aging FA-18EF Super Hornets sometime in the 2030s. But what makes this fighter truly special? Why are military experts calling it a game changer? And how will it ensure American naval dominance for decades to come? Let's dive into the fascinating world of next-generation fighter technology and discover why the FAXX has our potential adversaries deeply concerned. To understand why the FA-20 is so important, we need to look at how naval aviation has changed. After the Cold War ended, our aircraft carriers focused mainly on supporting ground operations in places like Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and Somalia. This shift meant less emphasis on certain missions like air superiority, anti-submarine warfare, and operating in highly contested airspace. But the world didn't stand still. While we were busy with these operations, China was building up its naval capabilities at an unprecedented rate. They commissioned their first aircraft carrier, the Liaoning, in 2012, followed by the Shandong. In 2022, they launched the new Fujian with an electromagnetic catapult system, similar to our own Gerald R. Ford-class carriers. Intelligence assessments suggest China could field 5 or 6 carriers by the 2040s, possibly even more. At the same time, China has been developing advanced missiles specifically designed to keep our carriers at bay. Their DF-21D carrier killer missile can reportedly hit targets up to 1,336 miles away with a 1,300-pound warhead. The even more concerning DF-26B can supposedly reach twice that distance, up to 2,485 miles, with an even bigger payload of nearly 4,000 pounds. This creates a serious problem for our current carrier air wings. The F-35C Lightning II, while incredibly advanced, has a combat radius of only about 600 nautical miles. This means our carriers would need to get dangerously close to these missile zones to launch effective strikes, putting our sailors and billions of dollars of military hardware at risk. The FA-20 program is the Navy's answer to these emerging threats. It's being developed under the Navy's Next Generation Air Dominance program, not to be confused with the Air Force's separate NGAD effort. The Navy's version will be tailored specifically for naval operations in the vast Indo-Pacific region against modern fighter jets, sensors, and long-range weapons. Our current carrier-based fighters are remarkable machines, but they have limitations that the FA-20 aims to overcome. The F-35 Lightning II, while stealthy and sophisticated, faces 2 particular challenges: range and weapons capacity. To maintain its stealth characteristics, the F-35 must store all fuel and weapons internally. This limits how much it can carry, and while external mounting is possible, it compromises the fighter's stealth profile. This becomes particularly problematic with newer, larger weapons like the AIM-174 missile, an air-to-air version of the SM-6 interceptor developed to give Navy fighters longer reach against aerial threats. At a whopping 21 feet long, the AIM-174 simply won't fit in the F-35's internal weapons bay. Currently, only the FA-18EF Super Hornet can carry this missile, and only on external wing mounts that increase radar visibility. The FA-20 will likely feature a significantly larger weapons bay, perhaps 23 feet or more, allowing it to carry these advanced missiles while maintaining its stealth profile. Range is another critical factor. The F-35's combat radius of about 600 miles is insufficient against an adversary with anti-ship missiles that can strike from over 1,000 miles away. The FA-20 will need substantially greater range to allow our carriers to operate safely beyond enemy missile reach while still projecting power where needed. Cost is also a significant concern. Each F-35C cost the Navy around $117.3 million, not counting the estimated $1.3 trillion in total costs over the aircraft's 66-year lifespan. The FA-20 aims to deliver enhanced capabilities at a more sustainable price point, allowing for larger air wings and more operational flexibility. While the Navy has kept many details about the FA-20 under wraps, aviation experts and official statements give us some clues about its design. Unlike our current fighters, the FA-20 may feature what's called a tailless blended wing body or BWB design. This means the wings smoothly blend into the body without the traditional tail fins seen on most aircraft. Traditional fighter jets use vertical tails to help with steering and maneuverability. Even our fifth-generation fighters have these tails in a V shape to reduce radar visibility. However, these tails can still be spotted visually and by advanced radar systems. The FA-20 may eliminate this vulnerability entirely with its revolutionary design. The air intakes will likely be tucked away and specially designed to prevent detectable sound patterns. Combined with the most advanced radar-absorbing materials, this will make the FA-XX extraordinarily difficult to detect by any means: radar, infrared, or visual observation. Size-wise, the FA-XX will probably be larger than the F-35, precisely to address the range and payload limitations. A larger airframe means more internal fuel capacity and bigger weapons bays. This isn't just about carrying more, it's about extending reach while maintaining the stealth profile that keeps our pilots safe. Several companies have released concept art showing their vision for the FA-20. Boeing, Northrop Grumman, and Lockheed Martin have all presented sleek, futuristic designs that emphasize stealth, range, and versatility. While the final design may differ from these concepts, they give us a glimpse of the cutting-edge thinking going into this program. Perhaps the most exciting technological development for the FA-20 is its propulsion system. The Navy appears to be moving toward what are called adaptive cycle engines, or ACE. Think of these as two engines in one. They can switch between acting like a turbofan, good for saving fuel, and a turbojet, great for raw speed. Traditional fighters use turbofan engines like the Pratt and Whitney F-135 that powers the F-35. These are excellent engines, but they represent a compromise between fuel efficiency and raw performance. The adaptive cycle engine eliminates this compromise by automatically adjusting its airflow depending on what the pilot needs at that moment. As David Tweedy, General Manager for Advanced Combat Engines at GE Edison Works, explained, XA-100 is an engine that can adapt in flight to mimic a passenger jet engine or a fighter jet engine, all without the pilot pushing a button. When cruising at high altitude, the engine operates more like an airliner's efficient turbofan, conserving fuel and dramatically extending range. When combat performance is needed, it instantly reconfigures to deliver the thrust and speed of a turbojet, potentially allowing speeds over twice the speed of sound at altitudes around 65,000 feet. This revolutionary propulsion system gives the FA-20 a critical advantage. It can fly much further than current fighters while still having the speed and power needed for air combat. This combination directly addresses the range problem created by China's long-range anti-ship missiles, allowing our carriers to operate at safer distances while still projecting power. At this point, it's worth noting that the Navy appears to be taking a different approach than the Air Force regarding engine technology. While the Air Force's NGAD program is heavily invested in cutting-edge adaptive engines with all their benefits, the Navy is reportedly considering more practical, derivative-type engine solutions that might sacrifice some performance for lower costs and reduced development risks. This practical approach highlights the Navy's focus on getting a capable fighter deployed sooner, rather than being caught in endless development cycles, chasing the absolute cutting edge. It's a balanced strategy that recognizes the urgent need to replace aging Super Hornets while still delivering significant advances in capability. Perhaps the most revolutionary aspect of the FA-20 program is the Loyal Wingman concept, also called Collaborative Combat Aircraft (CCA). This isn't just about building a better fighter, it's about creating an entirely new approach to air combat. The FA-20 won't fly alone. Instead, it will be accompanied by up to 4 unmanned drones that fly alongside it. These aren't simple remote-controlled aircraft, but sophisticated machines with significant automation and artificial intelligence capabilities. Think of the FA-20 pilot as the quarterback of a football team, directing these unmanned teammates to execute a coordinated game plan. These drone wingmen could perform a variety of missions. One might fly ahead to scout enemy territory, using sensors to detect threats without putting the pilot at risk. Another might hang back to protect against threats from behind. Others could carry additional weapons, electronic warfare equipment, or decoys to confuse enemy defenses. The possibilities are nearly endless. This approach dramatically multiplies the effectiveness of each human pilot. Instead of a single aircraft with limited weapons and sensors, one pilot could control what amounts to a small, specialized air force. This force multiplication is crucial when facing adversaries with numerical advantages. The drones would be smart enough to carry out their missions with minimal pilot input. The system uses what engineers call human-in-the-loop control, meaning the pilot always has final authority but doesn't need to micromanage every action. The drones handle routine tasks while the pilot focuses on critical decisions. Northrop Grumman has already demonstrated similar technology with its Loyal Wingman program, showing how unmanned aircraft can work alongside piloted fighters. The FA-20 will take this concept to new heights, integrating it fully into naval aviation operations. This approach offers several major advantages. First, it extends the sensor and weapons range of the fighter group without putting human pilots at risk. Second, it allows specialized drones to carry equipment that might not fit on the main fighter. Third, it creates multiple targets for enemy defense systems to track, increasing the survivability of the human pilot. Modern air combat isn't just about flying fast and shooting straight. It's increasingly about controlling the electromagnetic spectrum. The FA-20 will excel in this domain with cutting-edge electronic warfare capabilities that go far beyond what current fighters can do. Traditional radar systems have a significant weakness. When they're actively scanning for enemies, they can give away their own position. It's like using a flashlight in the dark. It helps you see, but it also lets others see exactly where you are. Meanwhile, potential adversaries have developed very powerful radar systems that operate on very high frequencies, VHF, which have become increasingly good at spotting even our stealthiest fighters. To counter this, the FA-20 will likely use advanced infrared search and track (IRST) systems. These sensors can detect heat signatures from enemy aircraft without emitting any signals that could be detected. It's like having night vision goggles instead of a flashlight. You can see without being seen. But passive detection is just the beginning. The FA-20 will also feature powerful electronic attack capabilities, like radar jamming systems that can confuse or disable enemy defense systems. These electronic countermeasures make it even harder for adversaries to track our aircraft effectively. All this information will be processed through what engineers call a sensor fusion system, a sophisticated computer network that combines data from multiple sources into a clear, actionable picture for the pilot. Instead of checking different displays, the pilot sees an integrated view of the battle space, allowing for faster and better decisions. Perhaps most exciting is the potential integration of defensive energy weapons. For nearly a decade, the military has been developing built-in laser weapons designed to shoot down incoming missiles. The FA-20 could be the first fighter to carry such a system, giving it an active defense against missile attacks that current fighters simply don't have. With all this amazing technology coming from the Navy, many people are surprised. For the last 3 decades, the Air Force has typically been at the forefront of fighter jet technology, with aircraft like the F-22 Raptor. When both services announced their respective NGAD programs, most expected the Air Force to lead the way. However, the Navy's FA-XX program has maintained steady progress while the Air Force program has faced challenges. There have been reports of multiple redesigns in the Air Force program, causing some companies like Northrop to step away. These changes have led to funding problems and concerns from industry partners about constantly changing requirements. The Navy has taken a more practical approach. While no official contractor has been announced yet for the FA-20, the program has maintained a consistent vision. This steady course has kept industrial partners engaged and confident in the program's direction. There's another important difference between the two programs. The Air Force's NGAD is focused primarily on air superiority, dominating the skies against other fighters. The Navy's FA-20, by contrast, is designed to be a true multi-role fighter, capable of both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. This versatility is crucial for naval aviation, where space on aircraft carriers is limited, and each aircraft must be able to perform multiple roles. The FA-20 will be designed mainly for air-to-surface missions like long-range strikes and sea control, but will still maintain strong fleet defense capabilities. This balanced approach ensures the Navy gets the most value from each aircraft in its limited carrier air wings. No major military program exists without budget constraints, and the FA-XX is no exception. Both the Air Force and Navy are working on several large projects simultaneously, putting pressure on their budgets and resulting in funding adjustments. Recent reports indicate planned spending on the FA-20 program was reduced to $3.3 billion, down 67% from the initial request of $10.3 billion. Lawmakers did vote for $450 million to be restored, but the final budget is still pending approval. These budget realities explain why the Navy appears to be taking a more practical approach to the FA-20 development. By choosing derivative-type engine solutions, rather than pursuing the absolute cutting edge in every technology area, the Navy can control costs while still delivering a substantial capability improvement over current fighters. This practical approach extends to the aircraft's intended role. By designing a versatile multi-role fighter, rather than specialized aircraft for different missions, the Navy maximizes the utility of each airframe while minimizing the overall fleet size needed to perform all required missions. The Navy has acknowledged the possibility of schedule shifts, but remains committed to balancing cost efficiency with advanced capabilities. This pragmatic approach increases the likelihood that the FA-XX will actually reach production without the delays and cost overruns that have plagued other advanced fighter programs. So when might we see this revolutionary fighter actually join the fleet? The Navy has indicated the FA-20 is set to enter service sometime in the 2030s, replacing the FA-18EF Super Hornet on carrier flight decks. This timeline allows for thorough development and testing while still addressing the urgent need to replace aging aircraft. The introduction of the FA-20 will mark a significant milestone in the evolution of naval aviation. By pairing the FA-20 with the F-35C Lightning II and the MQ-25 Stingray unmanned tanker, the Navy is creating a balanced, capable air wing ready to face the challenges of mid-21st century warfare. This mixed force structure combines the strengths of different platforms. The F-35C provides exceptional stealth and sensor capabilities. The MQ-25 extends the range of the entire air wing. And the FA-20 will add long-range strike capability with the ability to command and control unmanned systems, creating a force multiplier effect that dramatically increases the effectiveness of the carrier air wing. The success of the FA-20 program will have far-reaching implications for American national security. As stated in one of the articles, the success or failure of FA-20 will decide whether or not American or Chinese carriers will dominate in the 21st century. This isn't hyperbole, it's an accurate assessment of the program's strategic importance. The FA-20 represents far more than just another fighter jet. It's a breakthrough in stealth technology, artificial intelligence, data sharing, and unmanned systems. It's the culmination of decades of American aerospace expertise, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in military aviation. By addressing the key limitations of current fighter jets, particularly range and weapons capacity, the FA-20 will ensure American carriers can operate safely while still projecting power wherever needed. Its ability to serve as the quarterback for unmanned systems creates a force multiplication effect that will be crucial in maintaining numerical parity with potential adversaries who may field larger forces. The FA-20 demonstrates America's continued commitment to maintaining the most advanced and capable military in the world. In an era of increasing global challenges, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region, the FA-XX will ensure that our Navy remains at the forefront of aerospace technology, ready to defend our interests and values wherever they might be threatened. As we look to the future, we can take pride in knowing that American ingenuity and the dedication of our military continue to produce remarkable achievements like the FA-XX, keeping our skies, our seas, and our nation secure for generations to come. If you found this information interesting and valuable, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to our channel for more in-depth coverage of military technology and national security topics. Your support helps us continue bringing you this important content. Thanks for watching.